So, David, when, if you don't mind, how old are you?
I'm 53. I'll
53.
be
Okay.
54 in January,
Okay.
so getting close.
Okay. So, when did you discover your desire to be with a trans woman?
Well, let me first say that my interest is in women. And there came a point at which I decided that that should also include trans women.
Why?
Um, I don't know. Well, first of all, obviously, I live in San Francisco, so my ability to encounter trans women is going to be greater than in most places. This is not a city where trans women are forced to hide quite as much as in other locales. Um, I can tell you it was probably, it probably started when I came across probably a very well known um, um, club called the Motherlode, which
Yes.
was the for a better term, the tranny bar in San Francisco. It's since that closed and a new version opened called Divas. Um, it's certainly a place to go, and I've been there. I never went to the Motherlode actually. I drove by it a number of times, but I never went there. I remember dropping my boss and his wife off there once. He was a state senator, and they went in there and basically campaigned one night and were exceptionally well received.
Huh.
Um, so, I mean, that's probably where the thought began. Um, I don't believe I acted on anything until 2001, 2002, somewhere in that range. And, it's been a slow growth over time.
So I was going to ask David, do you feel like adding transgender women to your, say, pool of people you'd be willing to date, was that because there was something else that was attractive about them, or was it because San Francisco's such an open and accepting place that it's just okay, and it wasn't anything to do with them being transgendered or not transgender?
I'm probably more the former than the latter. Um, I don't know. I think it's hard for me to put completely into words. I have always been, I found the male female dynamic to be a particularly challenging one at times. I've often joked that I don't understand how men and women ever get together ever. Um, and look, well, okay, that's one thing. It doesn't
Yes.
necessarily lead to positive and long lasting relationships unless you get really lucky.
Yeah.
Just check the American divorce rate.
Yeah.
Right?
But um, I have been described by many people as an acquired taste. I'm certainly not a cover boy by any stretch of the imagination, but I do like to think that I'm a good guy. And again, to resort a little bit to cliche, I do find myself in the friend zone more often than not, in part because I'm not sure how to move from that to what's next. Um, and I guess to be completely blunt, I have my feeling, and this is sort of borne out by experience, is that the idea of sexuality is much easier to discuss with a trans woman than it is with a cisgendered woman.
Why do you think that
Because
is? Yeah.
it's something it's part of the dynamic from the very start. Because it is something that is out of the ordinary for most folks. If I have an interest in a trans woman, there's a dynamic that's going to be at play that I am not going to find in the rest of the environment, or with cisgendered women certainly. Um, Cisgendered woman is likely, well, not necessarily likely, but may think, what are your ulterior motives? Are you trying to get me into bed with you? A trans woman will discuss or be open to discussing sexuality a little bit more freely.
So
Again, because it's naturally a part of the dynamic.